Welcome, one and all. Welcome back to Ides of March Entertainment. I hope you enjoyed the previous videos. You probably haven't watched them, and you're probably not watching this one. But in case you are, I'm going to do a top 10 list. And this is going to be a little bit strange. Other people do top 10 lists. They do it better than me, but I'm going to do one too. And this is going to be the top 10 hauls. H-A-L-L. The top 10 hauls. Sounds strange? I don't think anyone's ever done it before, so this will be the first time anyone's ever done a top 10 hauls. That sun is right in my face. Maybe we can turn around. I don't know if that's any better. Good grief. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm just going to have to stare into the sun. Number 10, named after one of the men who built America with steel, Andrew Carnegie. I'm talking about Carnegie Hall. Has anyone ever been there? I've never been there. I'd like to go. I know it's a very kind of uppity theater. A lot of prestigious events happen there. It's in New York, I think. And I know later in life he donated like millions and millions of dollars to build all kinds of libraries and theaters and stuff all over the place. And I don't know if that was one of those, but I figured that should be in the top 10 halls. Carnegie Hall. Man, that sun is blinding me. Blinded by the light. Anyway, number 9, a movie I've never seen. I don't plan on ever seeing it. It doesn't look like it's for me. Ooh, that's perfect. No sun right here. I'm talking about, I think this came out in the 70s, maybe early 80s. Woody Allen, who, complete creep. But I'm talking about the movie called Annie Hall. I know it's revered, won a whole bunch of Oscars, including Best Picture that year. But I don't want to see it. But I figured it's an Academy Award winning movie by a director who is a creep, and for some reason he still makes movies. But number 9, Annie Hall. Has anyone ever seen that movie, and is it good? Should I watch it? All right, number 8. I'm not in a relationship, unfortunately. If I was, I would not authorize this, even though it's just kind of silly. I'm talking about the hall pass. Not the hall pass you get in high school where you can go to the bathroom or something like that. I'm talking about you get one chance at being with someone else if the opportunity comes. No, that's ridiculous. But since it is kind of popular, I guess. Is it popular? I don't know. It's known. It's in pop culture. Hall pass. There was a movie. It's kind of funny. Was Owen Wilson in that? Jason Sudeikis? I can't remember who was in the movie Hall Pass. I saw it a long time ago. It was funny. But number 8, Hall Pass. Okay, number 7. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, this guy was kind of a big deal. Then he kind of faded into obscurity. He still does stuff here and there. But I am talking about, I can't do this with one hand, because I'm holding my right hand with the camera. I'm talking about Arsenio Hall. And the Arsenio Hall show didn't last long, but it was real famous for kind of going up against the Tonight Show. Johnny Carson was kind of old and had kind of an older crowd, and this was more of the new hip show. Obviously he was in Coming to America, and he did other stuff too, but he's mostly known for the Arsenio Hall show. I didn't really watch it too often, but I know there was the big deal where Bill Clinton, when he was running for president, played the saxophone. That pretty much sealed him the presidency, I think, doing that show. So what are we on? Is that 8? No, 7. The sun. Number 7, Arsenio Hall. Why did I pick such a horrible time to do this with the sun in our eyes? Why did I pick such a horrible time to do this with the sun blasting down upon us? But hopefully you can hear me with the wind. Number 6. I don't really partake in these too often. I get other things, but they're popular. I'm talking about Hall's cough drops. So if you have a cough or a cold or a sore throat, get some Halls, some, what do you call that mint that gets released into your throat, and the goo that helps relieve you of your issues. Halls. The throat lozenge. Is that the word? Lozenge? Number 5, I was just here last summer at Walt Disney World. One of the coolest attractions you will ever see. It's got, I don't know how many presidents are we up to? 45? I don't even know. The Hall of Presidents. They change it every time there's a new president, and they kind of just change up the script a little bit. But for over 50 years now, it's pretty much been a classic. I don't see how anyone could not love this. Even Caleb, my teenager son, enjoyed it. I know, I'm sure little kids wouldn't, but it's very cool. And I would go back again if the next time I go. The Hall of Presidents, Walt Disney World in Florida. Ooh, it's wind. All right, so number 4, we're taking you back to mainly the 80s. That's where this actor had most of his success. Oh my gosh. The wind is blowing me. It's kind of a cold day. Probably in the 40s. But I'm talking about the star of Vacation, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Weird Science, Edward Scissorhands, I think he was in that. Anthony Michael Hall, one of the Brat Pack. He was even a cast member on SNL for a year. He doesn't, I don't feel like he's done a lot in the last 30 years. I know he's done things here and there, but just for playing the nerd for all those years, he gets the number 4 spot. Anthony Michael Hall. Okay, we're up to number 3. This is one of the best duos of all time. I know right now they're going through some kind of issues with publishing, and they're kind of broken up, I guess. I don't know what's going on. If you know, let me know. I am talking about the classic duo, soft rock, easy listening, I don't know what you classify it as, Hall and Oates, with just a string of hits. Private Eyes, Sarah Smile, Rich Girl. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They have like 10 just bangers. Hall and Oates, I think as of a few years ago they still toured, but now I think they're like broken up. But Hall and Oates, number 3. Number 2, of course, we have got to talk about the Hall of This Stupid Son. Not the Hall of Stupid Son, the Hall of Justice from DC Comics with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, the whole crew. They made fun of it, I think was on Family Guy, where they're like, you guys don't make any money, and this is like a lot of real estate here. So how do they pay for everything? Who knows? But the Hall of Justice, very famous from DC. They haven't really featured it at all in the movies. I know they're rebooting the whole thing, but hopefully we'll maybe see the Hall of Justice at some time. Number 2. Man, the lighting on this video is horrible. But number 1, every single activity or sport or anything you could think of has one of these. I'm mainly talking about baseball and Cooperstown. I'm talking about the Hall of Fame. Now, there are Hall of Fames for everything. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, basketball, football. There's a Hall of Fame for horseshoes in Wentzville, Missouri. So, I mean, you name it, there's a Hall of Fame. But I have got on my bucket list to go to Cooperstown, New York. I think it's in the middle of nowhere from what I hear. The Hall of Fame in baseball. I think that is the most prestigious of all the Hall of Fames that I would want to go to. All right, well, that concludes our top 10 halls. That was a weird one. Did I miss anything? I'm sure I did. I know there's Monty Hall, the old game show host. Thought about throwing him in there, but he didn't quite make the cut. So, with that being said, hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back with another strange top 10. Oh, you can see my camera. We'll be back with another strange top 10. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Until then, we'll see you next time.